rAVe Radio. With rants and rAVes, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is Rants and rAVes with Gary K.
Good morning, everyone. This is Gary K, and I want to thank you for joining me for a special edition of my Rants and rAVes video cast. We're counting down to InfoComm. We're a little less than a month away, and I'm excited to be joined by what may be the biggest display manufacturer at InfoComm this year because of all the changes in the floor plan. Kurt DeYoung. Kurt, Chief Revenue Officer for NanoLumens. How you doing, Kurt?
I'm doing great, Gary. How are you today?
I'm doing well. You should look familiar to everyone. As probably everyone knows, the last place you were was Barco. And, you were a big influence there with both the click share movement over the last decade, as well as, the channel development that happened over at Barco. But now you're at NanoLumens. And I'm curious because you're both display companies. One is exclusively display. One of them is display and a bunch of other stuff. I'm curious, when you went over to NanoLumens, what sort of surprised you the most?
Well, I think the main thing is that we're wholly focused on the LED market. So we've got electrical engineers, we've got mechanical engineers, we've got designers, we've got pre-sales teams that are all focused on a singular technology that really allows them to help the customer shape a vision, right? Like our job is to help them develop a vision of what the project is going to look like. And all of this knowledge that we've built up in our organization allows them to really follow through with that customer and make sure that they're helping them to develop and deliver a really solid solution.
So if you had to say, one or two things that people need to know or should know about NanoLumens, what would they be?
Well, I think the main thing is that we're a company where you can get to the people that you need, right? And we've really invested a lot in the resources that are very supportive of all of the different stakeholders that are involved in designing and deciding on an LED video wall project. In many cases, you have building owners that are trying to make the right investment for their real estate placement. You have architects that are really focused on creating an experience and an experiential kind of design that's not just a standard video wall. We've got partners that are looking for the right level of partnership between a manufacturer and their business because with a growing market, there's a lot of fringe players out there and you really don't know what you're getting. And you need to have a partner that you can trust. And, the consultant market is also really important. So we've got a lot of different functions here within the business that really align with each one of those individual stakeholders across the board so that we're making sure that we're providing them with the right information at the right time for them to make the right decision. And I think those are really the main things that we're focused on as being incredibly customer centric, regardless of who that customer is, right? And customers can take many shapes, especially in the LED space.
Well, speaking of which, what makes you different though? Because, I've heard a lot of this from other LED companies out there, not all of it. The fact that you're local, that is, I think, a big advantage, especially if you're a North American based application. But what makes you different? Because you walk around the InfoComm or the LED hall at ISE, there's 25, 30 manufacturers there. Why, what's different about NanoLumens?
Well, there's a lot of quote manufacturers, but there's a lot of companies that aren't really manufacturers. And I think that's something that any buyer or any partner really needs to understand. Like, what does your business look like? And are you a manufacturer or are you a broker? And there's a lot of brokers that appear to be manufacturers, but really aren't manufacturers. So I think that's kind of the first step. I think the other side of it is that, we've really built our business around, helping the customer make decisions. So, for example, we have a group here called the Special Projects Group. And basically that's comprised of designers, electrical and mechanical engineers that really take a project from concept to execution and really help our customers and our partners understand kind of the impact of what they're trying to do.
And is that free? Is that free? Like, do you charge for that service, or is that something that the integrators
We don't charge for it, actually. Okay. It's a resource that we don't talk about enough, but yeah. Probably about half of the projects that we're doing today originate out of that group at one level or another.
That's a big differentiator because most companies aren't doing that part of it, and that allows smaller companies and even companies that are serving vertical markets that are different, like, or even I should say horizontal markets too, like advertising, experiential, where our industry is not touching them directly. And I assume that you do that work for them as well.
Yeah, we'll do that work for them as well. And what's more important is we're making additional investments in that group to become, to be able to put more work through that team, right? And it's a tremendous resource for the integration community. And the other place, it's a tremendous resource for the architectural community because they know kind of what they want, but in a lot of cases, they don't necessarily know how to make all those pieces work together.
Yeah. Let's turn our attention to InfoComm. We don't know what to expect at InfoComm as far as the show goes, but what if we walk in a NanoLumens booth, are you going to have product in your booth, and what are you going to put in your booth?
Yeah, we're going to have products. We're going to have a smaller footprint, obviously, with less.
How do you have a small footprint with an LED display? I think that's relative.
Yeah, well, that is relative, but I think we're really going to focus. We're going to be laser focused. We've launched a new all-in-one product this year called the Captivate series. It really fits in very nicely for corporate environments, UCC installations, and conference rooms and flexible spaces. We think that that's going to be, a market that continues to expand over the next 12 months, and it is a new product, and it's easy to bring in. We'll also have, an example of all of our flat products, in all of our flat pixel pitches, as well as all of our curved pixel pitches. So those are our big features for the show: is give everybody the opportunity to see everything that we make, or an example of the things that we do make, but make it manageable to get down there. The other thing that you're going to be able to do is meet with every senior leadership person within our company. So the people that are going to be down there at Orlando, in Orlando for InfoComm, are the senior leaders in our business. I'm going to be there. Nay, our CEO, is going to be there. Nick, our channel leader, is going to be there, as well as Bryce, who manages our product stack. So our entire product line management individual will be there too. So we're bringing the right people because, we understand that it's going to be probably a smaller event, but we want to make sure that the AV community has an opportunity to learn more about what NanoLumens is doing. This is a whole new company over the past 2 years. All of the senior leadership have really changed over, and we're trying to build a different business, right? We're a 15-year-old LED company, but if you don't know much about us today, or you have an impression of us, from 2 or 3 years ago, things are very different today, right? And we want the AV community to learn more about our business and what we're trying to accomplish and how we're supporting our partners in the field. Yeah,
and the Captivate product line is really cool because it is in the sense that it's like hanging an LCD monitor, or rolling in an LCD monitor, in the sense that you can just plug in one cable to run everything, both from control and video. The sizes that comes in really quickly. It starts at like 100.
3 sizes: 120, 150, and 180.
All native 4K.
All native HD today. We're going to be expanding into 4K next year, but we wanted to get the HD series out today, and they're in stock. They're shipping. They're available. So we can deliver them whenever people want. And we have a number of other announcements that are really timed right around the show. Some different partnerships, some additional product that we're releasing in Q4, some really cool installations that are going on right now with some of that product. So we really want to use InfoComm as an opportunity to educate the AV market about the new NanoLumens.
Yeah, and they're at nanolumens.com, of course, but check them out at InfoComm. We'll be there. We're excited to go to. We're excited to go to a show. It's been over a year and a half since we've been able to cover a show. The last show we were at, as you know, was ISE, and it wasn't a great ISE. It was this very small show. Now I think we have better expectations of what we think is going to happen. Although we're not going to go there thinking there's going to be 30,000 people. But the cool thing is, like you said, you made a really good point of pointing out, I think, the big benefit of this year's show. You're going to be able to talk to the key high-level people that are normally locked up in meeting rooms somewhere else in the convention center. They're going to be on the show floor talking about their product and their company, including you, Kurt, right? They're going to make you stand there too, right?
I'm going to be there all 3 days. I'm ready to go, and I'm doing setup. We're nimble and we're ready to go. So we're
back to the old days.
Exactly.
All right. Well, look, check it out. And of course, I want you to connect with Kurt on LinkedIn. I'll put a link to his LinkedIn profile in the bio, and go to nanolumens.com. Check them out. They've got some really neat patents on LED technology that other companies don't have. So they are quite unique. And Kurt, thanks for joining me today.
My pleasure, Gary. Thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
And thanks for watching.